Plymouth is situated on the southwest coast of England and is known for its stunning sound and harbour. It has a breakwater that was built to protect the sound from the sea. Plymouth Sound and its harbour is used for recreational purposes as well as being the largest naval port in the UK. It is a very busy harbour that is surrounded by the urban areas of the city. It has bars, pubs, nightclubs, shops and a fishery. It is a very beautiful area, however the sound and the harbour have a very serious environmental issue that needs to be addressed. This is water pollution. Water pollution in Plymouth has become a more pressing issue due to the higher numbers of local people and tourists that visit throughout the year, and anthropogenic activities that occur daily. An anthropogenic activity is where something is affected due to human activity. What is water pollution? An introduction of substances, chemicals and objects by humans into a water body, i.e. lakes, rivers, streams, oceans, that could potentially harm or damage marine life as well as impacting human health. The harbour is used daily for sailing boats and recreational use. Hydrocarbon can be released into the environment by the sailing boats and the fishing boats. Sailing crafts have auxiliary engines which, when used in shallow waters, can have a greater impact on the biodiversity and environment. Anchor drag from the moorings may disturb any sediment and benthic communities may be exposed to contamination from anti-foulant products. These are concentrated liquid used to protect sea cooling water systems from erosion and corrosion. There was a large amount of pollution observed at the fishery part of the harbour. The fishery is a very busy part of the harbour and the boats are in use every day. It is situated next to Plymouth Marine Aquarium. It also has a restaurant next to it that is near the harbour. There were tyres and other bits of metals and oil that were visible at low tide. It was also observed that there was a lot of equipment on the edge of the harbour that could potentially cause pollution. There were fishing nets, crab pots, some of them cased in plastic, that could eventually come off and go into the water. Water pollution around the Plymouth Sutton Harbour. Many objects can be seen in the water at low tide. These are tyres, old boat parts, metal, glass cups and bottles, cans and oil. Oil was observed whilst at the harbour. Oil can be introduced into the marine environment by accident, illegal discharges from shipping or from sewage and industrial discharge. Over 80% of reported oil spills occur within a port or harbour. Most of the oil spills are small due to normal operations such as loading and bunkering. In the Plymouth Harbour's case, the main oil seen was near the fishery side of the harbour. The sources of oil contamination in harbours are from spills of fuel and oil's exhaust emissions and surface runoff from urban areas around the harbour. Marine animals and plants can be tolerant of small concentrations of oil and sediment, however exposure to minor or major spills can lead to the death of fish, marine life and birds. Oil can affect shallow fishing grounds and other habitats. Causes of this environmental issue. The oils from the fishing sailing boats coming in out of the harbour. A vast amount of pollution was observed close to the fishery part of the harbour, urban areas around the harbour and building works. Glass bottles and cups were observed close to the nightclubs and pubs that are situated next to the harbour. History of mining activity, which has had a drastic effect on the water quality in the Plymouth Sound and the harbour. Arsenic, copper, lead and zinc gets washed into the streams and rivers that then flow into the Sound. This has had an impact on the marine species. Whilst walking around the harbour, it was observed that no fish were seen at low tide. A study was carried out on a sewage sludge dumping ground near Plymouth, showing a substantial amount of microplastics. Microplastic can be fatal for marine species, and it was found in commercially important fish. Solutions: implement no dumping zones around the harbour, place more bins around the harbour, remove objects dumped into the harbour and continue doing this once a month, fine anyone that is caught dumping things into the harbour, install sea bins that suck rubbish like plastic and other objects to clean up polluted areas. It's also fish friendly, and educate the public of the impacts of throwing rubbish into the water and what it does to the environment and marine biodiversity.